Most people are chasing the wrong thing. They are chasing rich, and they do not even know it. Rich and wealthy are not the same thing. They do not feel the same, they do not work the same, and the version that looks better from the outside is almost always the one that is one bad month away from collapsing. Today, we draw the line between the two, and by the end of this video, you will never confuse them again. This is one of the most important distinctions in personal finance, and almost nobody teaches it clearly. We grow up seeing rich. The car, the clothes, the Instagram dinner, the holiday. We are shown consumption and told that is what success looks like. And so that is what most people build toward, a lifestyle that looks wealthy from the outside, while the balance sheet tells a completely different story. Wealthy is quieter than that, less visible, more durable. And understanding the difference is what separates people who build something that lasts from people who earn well and have nothing to show for it. Welcome to Rich Behavior. The clearest way to separate these two concepts is this. Rich is what you earn. Wealthy is what you own minus what you owe. A person earning 150,000 rands a month with no savings, 2 million rands in debt, and a lifestyle that requires every rand of that income to maintain is rich. Temporarily, conditionally, precariously. A person earning 40,000 rands a month with 800,000 rands in investments, a paid-off property, and expenses well below income is building wealth. If the income of the first person stopped tomorrow, the lifestyle collapses within months. If the income of the second person stopped, their assets continue to work. That is the fundamental difference. Rich depends on the tap staying on. Wealth survives when the tap turns off. Look at how each group deploys money, and the difference becomes even clearer. Rich behavior, in the superficial sense, is spending on things that signal status. Cars, clothes, restaurants, holidays, furniture, all of it is consumption. All of it depreciates or disappears. Wealthy behavior is ownership. Property, shares, a stake in a business, intellectual property, things that generate income or appreciate in value without requiring you to trade more time for money. The wealthy are not anti-spending, but when they spend significant money, it is usually on something that returns more than it costs. That discipline, repeated over years, is what creates the gap between the two groups. Here is the uncomfortable truth about rich. It is fragile. One job loss, one business that fails, one health crisis, one divorce, one economic downturn, and the lifestyle that required a specific income to maintain begins to unravel. And when it does, if there are no assets underneath, no investments quietly compounding, no property generating rental income, there is nothing to catch the fall. Wealthy people are not immune to hard times, but their wealth continues to work even when they cannot. A well-structured investment portfolio does not care if you are sick. A rental property still pays rent during a recession. The assets keep moving even when everything else stops. That is what makes wealth durable in a way that income never can be. In South Africa, we see this contrast everywhere. The person in the 900,000 rands car who is financing 90% of it and has no savings. The person in the modest Fortuner who owns 3 rental properties outright and has a JSE portfolio that has been compounding for 10 years. From the outside, at a glance, the first person looks wealthier. But sit down with their balance sheets and the picture flips completely. Wealthy people, as a rule, do not need to look wealthy. They do not need external validation of what their net worth already confirms to them privately. The need to perform wealth is almost always a sign that the real thing has not arrived yet. So how do you make the shift in practice? 3 moves. First, change the metric you are measuring. Stop asking how much you earn. Start asking what is your net worth and what is it doing? Track it monthly if you can. The thing you measure is the thing you manage. Second, redirect consumption spending into ownership. Every time you are about to spend significantly on something that will depreciate, ask if that money could buy something that appreciates instead. Not always, but often enough to move the needle. Third, think in decades, not months. Wealth is a long game. A 5,000 rand monthly investment at a 12% annual return is worth over 4 million rands after 25 years. The people who build it are not smarter than everyone else. They are patient in a world that is not. Rich is visible. Wealthy is verifiable. Rich is what people see when they look at your life. Wealthy is what remains when they stop looking. The goal is not to impress the room. The goal is to build something underneath everything else. Quiet, consistent, compounding, that does not need the room's approval to exist. Start measuring net worth. Start owning instead of spending. Start thinking in decades. That shift from chasing rich to building wealth